together. I'm your host, Deneen, and today we're diving into a conversation that touches every part of our mental and emotional well being, meaningful relationships, and why they matter.
Yes, I'm glad we're talking about this. I feel like our generation, especially the younger generation, millennials and Gen Z, we're super aware of mental health, but we're also navigating relationships in a totally different way and in a new world, and in some ways, not at all.
Right? It really does. And today we're breaking down the science, the emotional benefits, and how we can build deeper connections that actually support our mental health. So, why does this topic matter? This has been on my heart because I've seen how connections, real connections, can be the difference between feeling overwhelmed and feeling supported.
Yes, and honestly, for people my age, it's huge. A lot of us feel lonely even when surrounded by people. Social media makes it look like everyone has a perfect friend group, but that doesn't mean those relationships are meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, social media, there's so many things we can say about that. That's another show. But
hmm
I guess one of the questions is what made you realize connection is essential to your mental health?
Um, for me, it's when I went through a rough patch. The people who checked in, who actually listened, that made all the difference. It wasn't about having a lot of people, just the right ones. Yeah, definitely when you're um, like when you a lot of times people choose to like isolate when they're having a hard time, but it's really best to like talk things through, have some trusted confidants that will like listen to you, hear you, and it helps you get through things faster and like navigate like mental health struggles, opposed to just isolating and reverting to social media and things like that,
And internalizing
and
and then
internalizing.
reliving over and over in your head as opposed to putting the information out, right?
Yes,
Because
100%.
that's part of the problem. And then also put catastrophizing, right?
Yeah.
Making everything into the worst possible case scenario
Yes.
on things like that. So I think that it's important to have people to talk to, talk it through to help just kind of help you navigate, but also keep you focused on the important things in your
Mhm.
life, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, so let's talk about the science of the connection, right?
Yes.
And when we connect with people we trust, our brains release oxytocin. Oxytocin is the happy drug, right?
Mhm.
The bonding hormone. It makes you feel good. It calms us, and then the serotonin stabilizes our mood. Dopamine. I hear this word all the time from the young people. They're like, "Oh, it's a dopamine." I'm like, "What is that?
Mhm.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" A dopamine boost motivates, and cortisol, the stress hormone, actually goes down. So when you talk about dopamine, dude, what is that? What is that for you, Sierra?
Dopamine, like when I've heard about it on social media, it's typically like the feeling you get when it's like it's like a hormone that like you get when you do something that's like it makes you react or something. Like when you're scrolling on social media, you're trying to get like dopamine hits, like yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
little zap of something that makes you like gives you energy, makes you
Right.
excited. So we're all looking for that next dopamine boost. I mean, I would assume it's for like people when they go on roller coasters, when they do
Mm-hmm.
adventurous stuff, they're searching for that next like dopamine hit. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely, and it's
Spark.
the issue they say is like, okay, if you're on social media, you're like overwhelming yourself with dopamine to the extent where you can't feel it. You get a little numb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so true. Like even about drugs, people say that the first high is the highest you ever get, and then people start chasing that feeling,
Yes.
and you never get it again, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so that's why you got to make sure you temper things,
Mm-hmm.
because when you do the highs and the lows, you never it just you can never resolve it. You
Mm-hmm.
really can't. So yeah, I think that I just said that because my son talks about it all the time. Yeah, it's that dopamine hit. I'm like, what? It's a
Oh my
spark. It's a
goodness.
spark you get from things. Like matter of
Yes.
fact, if you're talking about exercise, you
Mm-hmm.
get the dopamine. Like when you run hard up the hill, it hits you so hard and it burns, burns, burns. But then when you do like the slower one, it doesn't give you the same effect. So yeah, it's that first spark that you get from things. So
Mm-hmm. Um,
and
so basically when you're around the right people, it's like a natural mood stabilizer. I mean, I've definitely seen this because I'm a little like um introverted, but when I'm around people I trust and feel like understand me, I feel like at ease, opposed to going to a room full of strangers who don't know me and I feel like I'm having to perform. So that's
right,
definitely true.
yeah, no, exactly, because you can be yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can be
Exactly.
your authentic self. You can react and respond the way that you feel like you want to, without trying to hide, without being dishonest, without lying about things. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
is why it's so important to have a trusted circle. I call it my
Mm-hmm.
mastermind group. Like I have my sister, I have my daughter. That's my mastermind group because I can say anything about anything to them. I mean, I do my brainstorming with them. So yeah, you need to have a trusted circle of people that don't judge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they also don't intrude. And what I mean by that is they're not pushing you to go one way or the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. Like if you don't like the situation, I'm with you on it. If you like the situation, I'm with you. And specifically talking about relationships, if you don't like him, I mean, if you like him and I don't like him, I still like him with you, right? So I'm with you. I'm for you. So you need those people in your corner that's team you. Team
Yes.
you. Who's your team you, right? You
Mm-hmm.
need to know that and you need to make sure that you have people like that. And if you don't, I mean, I feel like the first place you need to do is go to people who have been close to you. Because I feel like those are opportunities to establish those kind of relationships if you haven't already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, so we're wired for connection.
Mm-hmm.
Isolation activates the same part of the brain that responds to physical pain.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right? That's really interesting. I think I remember a study about babies, and they had a study about babies and two separate infants, and so they had one infant. They didn't feed them, is what I think. They didn't feed them, and then they had well, let me take that back. They had one infant that they fed them. They gave them everything they wanted except no touch,
Mm-hmm.
no interaction. The other
Mm-hmm.
baby, they didn't feed them, but they touched them all the time. They kept giving them hugs and they kept them. And the baby that didn't get food
Mm-hmm.
thrived.
Yeah.
I mean, that's steady. I mean, so it's important for us to have interactions. We are
Yes.
wired that way. We need that. And so a lot of people, I'm not physical touch. I'm a loner. No, you might be all of those things, but that is not how you're going to thrive at your maximum level. You're just not.
No.
You're just
No.
not.
But see, that makes so much sense. Like when I feel disconnected, it's not just emotional; it's physical. Um, you feel heavy, and I mean, to a certain extent, like isolation is like self harm. It's like trying to make yourself feel something other than what you're like thinking about mentally, probably. Like that.
Hmm.
That kind of makes sense to me.
Well, it's running away. It's hiding.
Hmm.
It's running away. It's denial. It's all those things because you don't want to face what the
Yes.
reality of something is, and you certainly don't want to face it in front of people, right?
Hmm.
So there's some shame in there. When you talk about
Yes.
isolation, we're talking about shame,
Hmm.
and we're also talking about emotional instability in the sense that you don't feel comfortable enough of addressing the reality of something. So that's
Yes.
why when we talk about mental health, it's important for you, again, to make sure that you have those trusted people in your life.
Hmm.
Um, So the next thing I was thinking about, about feeling seen and being understood. Being understood is healing. When
Mm-hmm.
you feel like somebody understands you, I mean, it makes you happy. It just makes you happy. It reminds you that you're not alone and that, you have support. Somebody has your back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you feel that way, all of a sudden you got hope, right? And it gives you some energy to just be, even if it's just being and not necessarily even moving forward, but just be able to be. Because sometimes, I mean, when you feel hopeless, that's when you're going down. You're going to go down the wrong road. You're not going to be thriving. You're not going to be living your life the best that you possibly could, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we talk about belonging, right, Sierra?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, but belonging is everything. It makes school, work, friendships, all of it feel more manageable. I know we've all been in situations like the what you remember from like school or work is always like the people you worked with, like the friendships you've built. You don't really care about the projects you did and things like that. It's always the group of coworkers that you either trauma bonded with or you had like good times with, and that's usually the best part of like any job.
No, it's true. That's
Mhm.
absolutely true. I mean, even like you said, in school, friendships, you might not remember anything except what happened. Like, I wish my girlfriend Laura was on today because me and Laura have like a lot of events that have happened that have just been funny. It's just me
Mhm.
and her. So we're like, you remember? Like, I mean, I'll send her a text and say, remember, and she'll just be ha 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 ha. So we have things like we don't remember everything else that was going on, but we remember that thing that we shared together. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that
Yes.
that's a sense of belonging. We belong together because we have shared experiences, and that's what we
Yes.
need.
Yes.
And so I was thinking about the mental health protection, right?
Mhm.
And I guess no, I guess for you, Sierra, I guess you wanted to say
Oh, okay.
what
Um,
relationships have helped you through a tough season.
okay. Yeah, for sure. Like I have a lot of close friends that check in on me even when I don't say anything. That kind of like consistency is like really helpful because I'm definitely not a person who reaches out for like help or like comfort or will be like reach out with someone's like, oh, I just need to talk about this. So having people that are you know doing the hard work and like maintaining those types of emotional bonds is key, and it makes a huge like difference in your life.
Well, and I think it's having the people that you trust know who you are. So
Mhm.
so I know, like, if you don't call me today, then I'm
Mhm.
gonna be wondering, like, okay, what's going on with you, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
I'm going to push a little bit. I'm gonna pull a
Mhm.
little bit because I know who you are, and I know
Yeah.
that we have that kind of relationship that we do, that we do check in on each other, and we want to know what's going on because you just don't know. Just like, I mean, it could be in a moment. Like,
Mhm.
I could have talked to you whatever yesterday and everything was fine, and then today things are not good,
Yes.
right? So that's
Mhm.
why you got to check in on your friends. You don't have to, it's not like you have to be on the phone for hours and calling all day long. I mean, like I do with some of my older ladies, I'm just like sitting on the phone with them, just listening.
Yes.
You don't have to do that. You can just send
No.
a text and say, hey, what you doing? And if you
Mhm.
feel like if you feel like things are not right, you pick up the phone and say, what's going on? And
Yes.
then you give you an opportunity to say, I'm not well, things are not
Mhm.
going good. And so then that's my cue that, okay, I got to keep this person close to me, for now, because
Yes.
it can change sometimes. I might need to keep you close or whatever. So yeah, I think that the mental health protection comes from your trusted circle people knowing who you are, and always feeling the need to um
Mhm.
to be connected in some form or fashion, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So um this is good right here. It says meaningful relationships protect our mental health in so many ways. They lower depression risk. which is
Mm-hmm.
really critical, right? We don't want you to
Yeah.
go down the depression road, and it
Yes.
reduces anxiety. That's big too because people really do kind of downplay anxiety.
Yes.
But anxiety, I mean, that can really disrupt your life.
Yeah. It's
Right.
debilitating.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want to talk about? I mean, what is that? Like, what exactly is like? How does that?
I think it, like anxiety is just like it's stress from like the unknown or like overthinking aggressively, um like I've been in a situation where I overthink like everything I said to somebody, or
Mm-hmm.
like you overthink going to a party, you overthink not going to a party, you overthink, you overthink everything, sending an email at work. I know people online all the time are like, I can't tell the difference between sending an email at work and like a bomb going off. Like
Right.
that's literally, and I think that goes to like the cortisol issue.
Yeah.
Like I think there's something tied into that.
Yeah.
So it's 100%. Hi, Clara.
Hey, Clara, how are you? Yeah, I mean, just having meaningful relationships, it reduces that anxiety. So you're not playing, going through it over in your head over and over again, again,
Hmm.
catastrophizing
Hmm.
um, what the worst thing could be. So when you have those people, you can just kind of talk through it and they can listen or they can provide support on it. So you just need those people.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, and I guess after when we have those meaningful relationships, it makes us more resilient. It makes us realize that guess what? When it's all said and done, we're gonna be all right.
Yes.
So,
Yes. 100%.
mm-hmm,
I've noticed, like, when I'm around people that genuinely care, I don't spiral as much. I'm more grounded, feel less overwhelmed. And I mean, that's a big issue. People nowadays, like, people don't have like friends, like for having friends or like family in real life is so different than having like friends online. Like
mm-hmm,
there isn't really a substitute. Like it's good to have friends online if you literally have no one else around you. Like that's a lot of people's like safe haven when they're in a bad place or they're like physically like really isolated. But as much as you can find people in your real life that care and want to speak to you is like it's really key. It's like I said, the grounding aspect of it.
oh yeah, and for me as a mom, I see how connection strengthens emotional stability. It's like having a safety net, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that having meaningful relationships, it just helps you to get through things because you're not totally relying on all the outward things that are around you. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens is the disappointments, the things that just don't go your way, all of a sudden those things don't affect you as much
Mm-hmm.
when you have the meaningful relationships because when those things go down, you still know you got your safety net, right?
That's true. That's
And it's
true.
gonna it's gonna be all right. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so let's talk about quality over quantity. Let's talk about you don't need a big circle. You just need a real circle,
That's true.
right?
100%. Like real, like you meet a lot of people who have like people, all these quote unquote friends around them, and they don't actually like or care about any of them. Um,
No, I mean, there's so many. You
it's
got
so
people
common.
people in your life that are in your life for their own benefits, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
sometimes when they're in there for their own benefits, it actually benefits you too in some ways.
Hmm.
But it does not mean that they're part of the real circle because part
Yes.
of the real circle is part of like so some of the indications of the real circle are when you tell people when you if you say no to somebody, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And see how they respond.
Yes.
When you don't do it the way they want you to do it, see how they respond.
Hmm.
That's how you can tell if you have the real circle because the real circle folks are gonna be mad at you but they still
Hmm.
love you and they're still gonna interact with you, right? They're gonna get
Yes.
over it and they're gonna come back. And I say this and I will continue to say this: you don't know you have a real friend until your relationship has been tested. And what I mean by that is when you've had a fallout
Hmm.
and you're still friends,
Yes.
That's a real one. But if you
Yeah.
had a fallout and y'all can't come back from it, time's up.
Well, yeah, or it's just like I think a big indicator is the consideration like mutual? Like, is it like, oh, you're showing up for their events or when they need you to be there or when they ask you to do something they want to do. But when you want to do something, are they available?
Yes.
That's a thing. And I mean, that's not like, there's plenty of people who will show up when you want them to show up. And
Mm-hmm.
they're still not really your friend. But I think that's a
Mm-hmm.
huge indicator because there's a lot of people who are just like, oh, I just need a buddy. Like
Yes.
they're gonna do what I want to do, and I just want someone with me, a plus one, versus someone who's like, oh, this person needs me to show up in a way, so I'm gonna show up for them because I
Right.
care and I'm considerate of them.
Well, yeah, and I think and showing up when there's a sacrifice that has to be made, right?
Yes,
Like
yes,
last minute. It's a last minute. You call me, you need me to do something, and
mm-hmm.
it's last minute, and I say, okay, I can still do it, right?
Yes,
Whereas though there are friends that you call them last minute, you ain't getting nothing.
no,
They're like, I can't do it. And here's the thing, they have a right to say that they can't do it, but what you have to understand is that is the level of the friendship. And
yes,
it's okay when you have accepted what the level of friendship is because there's
100%.
different levels of friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it's okay. Like, I'm not inviting everybody to everything,
yes, yes.
right?
And as you get older, I think you see that more and more. Like I hear a lot of people who have complaints about they're like, oh, this person, they haven't done this in weeks, and I'm always doing their stuff, but it's like you just kind of have to put people, label people in a certain way where you're like, okay, this person does that, but having all around friends are hard to come by, and that's where the quality really matters. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of people who have like 20 all around friends, people that listen to them, want to hang out, they want to, travel, they have in-depth conversations, they can rely on. Like finding those people is much more difficult, which
Yeah. I mean,
ergo
well,
the sponsor.
finding people that are in the same place that you are in your life, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Finding those people because you have friends and, let's say you have friends, you don't have children, they got children.
Mm-hmm.
Love you. I love you, but we can't do some things together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
even like, being single and then having married friends. You
Yes.
can't do everything that those married people do, just like those married people can't do everything that you do as a single person. I had a friend who was get ready to go through a divorce or whatever, and I'm hanging out, all fun, having my fun, my single life fun. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "Oh, I want to go." And I'm like, "No, you're not ready for that yet. You can't do that. You can't just jump in and be, doing this thing because you're in a different space right now. You
Mm-hmm.
need to be, you just have a different frame of mind. So I think that that's important to remember where your friends are at that particular time in their life and make sure that you're not putting pressure on them either.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you go with me? You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, they have their life that they have locked into, and we have to respect that. And if they are not able to be the friend that we need them to be, we need to find another friend,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yes.
yeah. So the bottom line is that we just need a real circle, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh,
Okay. Okay. So I guess I want to say, yeah, there's so much pressure to have a huge friend group, but honestly, a few real ones feel better. And I'd rather have 3 people who show up than 20 who don't,
yes.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
quality people are the ones who see you, hear
Yeah.
you, and hold space for you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
And
it's like the what's it called, the social media thing, how people always seem like they have so many friends and so many, when in actuality it's like they have none.
yeah,
And then you
it's
start feeling bad that you only have like one friend, but it's like they wish they had one friend the way you have one friend. So I think
yeah,
that's a big piece.
yeah. I mean, I think what this topic really has done for me is start thinking about who are your quality people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who's those
Yes.
people? Who do people go? See, because I'm a friend. I'm a friend that might not talk to you every day.
Mm-hmm.
You might not see me. You might not hear from me. But if you need me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. that you can call me and I'm going to be there for you. That's just
Mhm.
that's the friend that I am, and that's the friendship that I can offer. But I cannot offer you a friendship of calling you every day and hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? I'm not that girl. So people know that about me, and the people who really want me in their lives, they accept that, and they actually value the things that I bring in a friendship.
Mhm.
So there you go. Right. So it's for Sierra purposes, like your close friends, you and a couple men. Those are people who really show up for you. Is your close. You got a couple close friends. You got some coworkers. You got your little group.
Mhm.
Your group in DC. Your tribe in DC.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you just and you have to put time in to get the to like, really get those people like that. That's really what it's about. It's about time. It's about time, it's about listening, it's about showing up when you don't feel like going. Like that's really how you build close friendships. And even like and the thing is not like it's like we said, like not everyone needs to be a close friend.
No, it's
Like
true.
you
Hmm.
it's there's value in having people who would be like, oh, I'd go to that, and it is you go with them to that one thing, and that's it. Like, not I think there's pressure on people to feel like every interaction is like turning into, oh, this is gonna be my best friend forever, and we're gonna go to Spain together. It's like, well, they could just be a person who, like, they're there for a short time, or they like doing this one thing, you like doing this one thing, so not everything needs to be super like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of like for us as women, we meet a guy, and we just all of a sudden we start thinking, oh my God, this is the guy or whatever. Really, and it's
Mhm.
just a time. It's a time. It's some memories, whatever. So I think that we have to just take things for what it is and not try to
Mhm.
turn it into more than what it is. And so
Mhm.
that's why you need to know the signs of it, right? So that's why
Mhm.
we're talking about things, we're talking about topics that just to make you aware of things so that when you see certain things or when things are happening, it is familiar to you so you're not blown away, right?
Mhm.
And you're also like today we're talking about this podcast, we talk about communication, we talk about connection, and we talk about collaboration. Well, today we're
Mhm.
talking about connection and how important connection is. So this is
Mhm.
just one of those subjects that we feel like we're trying to give you some information so we can give you an opportunity to build stronger relationships. So
Mhm.
and so now we're going to talk about, our just mother and daughter interaction. So let's get
Yes.
into it. I mean, our relationship has evolved so much, right?
Yes. It really has. We've learned to communicate better and understand each other more. And I think it's helped with, like, I think both of our mental health a lot. I think we rely on each other. I mean, there's some codependency,
True that.
I would
Definitely
say.
codependency. I'm very dependent on you
Yeah.
for many
Like,
things, right?
mhm.
And I think
It's
that's a part. I do think that the codependency thing is a part of a mother-daughter relationship, and not
mhm.
in the sense, not in the negative sense of being dependent for, for financially and all those different things, and
Mhm.
operating and all those things. But emotionally, I think that having a daughter is a godsend. Having a daughter that you feel like you can depend on emotionally, and because my daughter's she's a big baller, I can depend on her in a lot of other ways. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
a proud mom for that. But yeah, so I remember a moment when I was overwhelmed. Like I'm going through something. The first person I'm gonna call her, right?
Mhm.
And that was not so when she was younger, though. When she was a younger person,
Yeah.
I was going to call her when I was overwhelmed. I'm not going to put that burden on my young daughter. I'm going
Mhm.
to, get through it or call my girlfriend, whatever. But now that, she actually is a mature woman, we can talk about a lot of the same things. And so I just, you have always been that, I would say, the compass for me, you
Mhm.
know, kind of, reminding me that, it's okay, don't get all crazy with it. She said, she said, I love that for you guys. Yeah, it's good. She doesn't like necessarily try to fix things. She'll just like kind of be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have to say that, we just really have we have mirrored each other in a lot of ways,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Um,
and then for you, Sierra, like, whenever you have been, struggling with confidence, what
mm-hmm.
can you say
Yeah,
about?
it's like it's it goes back to that thing where it's like, you don't have to be perfect to be worthy. And that really stuck with me, and I still think about it to this day.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's the thing about. I feel like, as a mom, I think it's important to uplift, your daughter, cheer her on, encourage her, but it's also to develop enough trust with her to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know you need to be gentle with it, but when you develop that trust, you feel comfortable that you can, they're expecting the truth from you,
Yeah,
you know,
and I think
in a way.
and when you have like that close relationship, it's like, okay, even if you're all your friends, or you're still building your circle of trust for people to speak to, it's like at least I have my mom to fall back on. At least,
That's
like, okay, if I don't feel like talking to all those people, I can always go to you and just like trauma dump. And
exactly.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I
'Cause
mean, our bonds.
people pay for that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and our bonds support both of our mental health, right? It's not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but it's meaningful, and I love that
Mm-hmm.
too. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, we have some practical ways to build meaningful relationships. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna give you some of those. So, do you want to start with that?
Yes. So ways to build meaningful relationships. We spoke about this kind of earlier. It's to be intentional. I think that's a I think that's like the biggest piece, especially when we're talking about like romantic relationships, but it's also good for like friendships. Um, Practice vulnerability. I think I know that like that's one of my biggest, the most difficult I have is being vulnerable. But I found like when you go out, if you just share like little tidbit about yourself to people, they feel
Hmm.
closer to you immediately. So it's a good tactic to try to like ingratiate yourself to people like quickly.
Yeah.
Um, there's like active listening. That's always good because there's so many people who
Hmm.
are just not listening. And then when people feel heard, they're like, "Oh wow, someone actually like cares and is like someone that could like reciprocate to me."
Yeah,
Um,
and that active listening thing is, getting to know your people, getting to
mm-hmm,
know your tribe, getting to know, your mastermind group, getting to know those people so that you can respond and react accordingly, right?
mm-hmm,
Because if you don't know them, then you're not going to be able to respond in the best way to uplift and encourage them,
mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yeah.
and then look, prioritize face to face time, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
stop. Don't just text, right? Pick up the phone. Even
Mm-hmm.
do a FaceTime sometimes. Matter of fact, I was thinking about that, Clara. I was thinking about me and you. I was like, oh, I'm gonna FaceTime her. We're gonna next when we have our conversation, Clara, want to do it on FaceTime. I was thinking about that earlier. I was thinking about that yesterday actually. So I would love to do that. And make sure you set boundaries. And what
Mm-hmm.
does that mean? What does that mean setting boundaries?
Mm-hmm.
Kira, what do you think? What does that mean to you in setting
It's
boundaries?
knowing like the needs you have and like what you're okay with, and like leading with that. Just making sure you're not like your boundaries aren't being pushed, or like you're getting what you need. I think that's what setting boundaries are
Yeah, I
for.
think so. I think it means that, the things that you are doing are based off of who you are and what your needs are. Not You're not doing things based off of what people are, what other people are doing. So you're not being
Mm-hmm.
reactive, right? She
Mm-hmm.
said, perfect, but after 10, right? I'm sure. Um, yeah, so I just think that, yeah, it's important for you to set boundaries, and just
Yeah.
and setting boundaries meaning knowing who you are and
Yes, you
knowing
got to
what your
know your
boundaries are.
boundaries.
Yeah,
Yes. You got to know what your boundaries are, know what you need, know what to expect, like what you need to tell people what your expectations are, because then it makes it easier to know when you're like, things aren't working for you. Because if you don't have the boundaries, it's kind of like nebulous, and you're like, well, and I think that's where a lot of people get caught up.
I think we were talking about that earlier. That when you don't have boundaries, you keep the goalpost keeps moving.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I don't really like that, but, and then it just keeps moving. So when you set boundaries, you say, I don't like that, and so that's not something that I want to be
Yes. It's not gonna.
feeling or
It's not.
dealing with, right? So
Yeah. Like,
set some realistic boundaries.
yeah, and a boundary for like friendship is like people who are like constantly late. Like that's not something I can deal with.
You're right. You're
Like
right.
that's a huge problem. Or people who cancel last minute all the time. Like that I those are two really big issues I'd have like for friendship.
Yeah, the late thing for me is a problem simply because I feel like it's disrespectful of my time.
And I'm on
So
time. So like
yeah,
if we're like I can see if someone is late is a chronically late person, if they have other friends who are also chronically late, then I guess everyone's late and it works.
yeah.
But it's what sucks to be the one who's on time and you're like, oh, I will change what I need to do or shift my like day or like plan in advance to be on time to meet with people so that like I'm not wasting time. But then for other people to be like, oh well, I had to shine my shoes. It's like, well, did you?
Yeah.
Like, there's things I could have done.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like oh man, I get so annoyed because I'm thinking, man, I could have, because I will put things off to get there on time, and I'm like, I
mhm,
could have done such and such. So yeah, so for me, the whole late thing, that's a huge issue for me. I will definitely let you know that that's not okay, and I will give you some opportunities to get it right. But
mhm,
I'm gonna lose trust. I can't trust you, right? And
mhm,
I've seen a lot of things on Facebook all the time. They said if you could get $1 million, and you had to make sure that one friend made it on time, who would that be, right?
mhm.
Who would you call?
Yes.
I need to have a friend that I know. If I call
Mhm.
you and I'm gonna need you to be on time, that you're gonna be there, right? Because
Yeah,
I
or
don't
if
want
I'm
to.
like, oh, we're gonna do something, like you're gonna do it. Like
Hmm.
I can book the flight. We agreed on this date. You can book and it's done. Like I don't need to be like, oh, maybe she won't actually go. She agreed, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like, what is that?
Absolutely. I mean, and I think the final one is, strengthen your communication.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out where their communication gaps.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to them, making sure that the people that you are interacting with, they're making sure that their needs are being met, and
Mm-hmm.
making sure yours is, and people just understand, what the level of friendship is. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I know that our friendship level is here,
Mm-hmm.
then I can be here. But if I think
Yes.
our friendship level's here and you're
Yeah.
here, there's going to be a gap, and we're going to have some
Mm-hmm.
conflict that
Yeah.
may or may not weather the storm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah,
Yes.
for
Yes.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's like for me, staying connected means checking in with friends regularly, being honest about how I feel, and not pretending everything's fine when it's not. See, that's something I have a huge issue with. I'm a person who always pretends everything's fine. So I'm working on it, but it's tough.
Well,
It's tough.
here's
I mean, that's vulnerability. That's a vulnerability issue.
I think so too, but I also think that everybody don't need to know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
But
we
they
just
do
have
need
to
to
make
know.
we have to make sure that we have our people.
Yeah, but here's the thing, even your people, they can do something that makes you feel bad or uncomfortable. And like we all should feel good to be like, you know what, I didn't like that.
Right.
You know what? And I think that's a huge thing because we're always trying to like, make things okay and try to like downplay negativity because he's like, you don't want negativity to take over your life. And you don't want to be that person who's sitting around talking about how, oh, this happened, oh, I'm sad, oh, this, oh, this, oh, this. You don't want to be that person. But I think there definitely is a line where it's like, you know what? I don't like that. And I think that's a boundary. That's a boundary thing. That's a communication thing. That's,
Yeah,
of
and I
course,
think
yeah.
I think for us, I think, that's one of the things where our relationship has evolved because when we shifted to, from parent to, to confidant, kind of thing with me and you,
Mm-hmm.
because when I was the parent, then
Mm-hmm.
you were, thinking it's disrespectful to say something contrary to what I'm saying, right? And you want to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that we're kind of in line. But now that we're much more, there's you understand that I have a respect for you, you have a respect for me. I think that you understand that it's okay to be honest about how you're feeling, and that when you're honest about how you're feeling, you're going to be able to move from that feeling pretty quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to be festering in it, right?
Yes. You don't want to be stuck in stuff that.
And then next thing you know, you got resentment,
Yeah.
right? I don't
Yeah.
feel like talking to you today because you get on my nerves, the kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or and you don't know why. You don't know why somebody's getting on your nerves because they haven't told you.
Yes.
So you want to, and another, I think another key factor is make sure that you deal with issues quickly.
Yes.
It doesn't change anything when you wait three
No.
days. As a matter of fact, if you wait 3 days, the other person might have already forgotten about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right. So now, even if
100%.
they got bits and pieces of it, they don't have the whole picture like you do because you've been putting it. You've been going through your head for weeks, and so
Mm-hmm.
you got this whole picture, and they got like a little piece in it. So when you start giving them your opinion about it, they don't get it because
Mm-hmm.
they have removed themselves from the big piece of it. So it's important to address things quickly, as
Mm-hmm.
soon as possible. As much as it hurts, you could, just it's kind of like going through a storm. When you're driving through
Mm-hmm.
the rain and it's a storm, if you stop, you're going to be stopped in the storm. But if you keep
Mm-hmm.
on going, you get past it. And I
Yes.
think that's I love that. That's a nice
Mm-hmm.
little analogy for it, right? And then for adults, it's about making time even when life gets busy. That's how
Mm-hmm.
you build meaningful relationships. Make time for people, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as I don't have time. You have time. You have the
Yes.
same. You have 24 hours, just like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to choose what you do in your 24 hours, just like I do.
Mm-hmm.
And the choices that you make confirm what's important to you,
Yes.
right?
100%. Yeah.
Simple.
Because we're not getting more time. So it is what it is.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, and everything is a trade-off. I mean, I do this, I do that. You can decide what you want to do. And once again, like I said, when you start seeing what people are doing with their time, you know what they value,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, anyway, then we have to talk about the cost of disconnection, the cost of not connecting with people, um, loneliness, increased anxiety, depression, even
Mm-hmm.
physical health issues. I talked to you about, the babies that didn't get touched or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was a problem. It could be physical problems, mental problems, um, growth problems, even for, like, for the kids, different things
Mm-hmm.
they talk about. There's so many studies about how our mental state is so connected to all the illnesses in our body,
Yes.
all the illnesses. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so do you get an illness for something else? Well, your mental state can determine how severe it's going to be, how long you're going to be in it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, mental health is critical in our health and well-being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And social media can make you feel connected but also isolated, which is like the weird part about it. It's like you're watching everyone else's live live life instead of living your own. 100%. And even people who are living life for social media is like another piece, which is a super strange phenomenon that
Yeah,
is like.
I think one of the things that you guys, millennials, and specifically Gen Z, is putting too much stock into social media,
Yes.
right?
Yes. a hundred a
Turning your
hundred percent.
social media into your community, turning it into your team,
Or your
right?
reality. Like that's the bigger thing. They like I mean, and that's all of us. I mean, we kind of feel like stuff we see online is real and like is the most true thing you've ever seen, when it's just like such a like um uh
Show, show,
such a show, such a like yeah, what's the, I can't come up with the word, but like
fantasy.
a fantasy, like all the words, like it's all not true at all. Like the beliefs are like the beliefs of like 10 people magnified by a million.
No,
It's so
that's
crazy.
good right there. That's good right there what you just said
Yeah.
because there, talk about people like, oh man, you need to get on social media. There's so much money to make. Blah 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 blah. There is like 1% of the people on there giving out all the content. I mean, it goes back to when we talk about business, the 20/80 rule. 20
Mhm.
cent, 20% of the people are putting out 80% of the content,
Mhm.
right? And that is not indicative of the real world. It's just
Yes.
not. So we
Yeah.
just have to make sure that we understand that, right? A facade.
Mhm.
That's what Claire said. Yeah, it's a facade. You know what? It's a facade. And guess what? It's just a reel. When they
Mhm.
talk about social media terms, it's a reel. It's
Mhm.
one shot. It's
Yes.
one shot of people's lives,
Mhm.
and that's just not enough for us to be able to make some real decisions about what we're doing.
Mhm.
I talk about that all the time about, when a friend calls me and they says something, I can't give you a good recommendation because I'm only getting your piece.
Mhm.
So I can say, oh, based on that information, whatever, but I am not going to be able to give you a good recommendation because I only have one piece of the big puzzle. And so what
Mhm.
I can do is tell you, okay, this sounds good. Trust
Mhm.
yourself. I can encourage you to make some decisions based on I know that you have all the information. So that's just kind of one of those things.
Mhm.
And then I said there's a difference between being lonely and feeling alone, right?
Mhm.
So there are times. I mean, think about this. There are times when you are in a big group of people
Yeah.
and you feel alone.
Mhm.
You don't feel like you're being heard. You don't feel like you're being seen. And you don't even feel like you belong,
Mhm.
right? So we need to be careful about um, putting ourselves in big gatherings to make us feel like we belong because
Yeah.
that doesn't always mean that, right?
No.
So I
No.
think that's important.
Yeah. It's like
But
that being lonely in the club type of feeling.
well, yeah, or that when they talk about the old dude in the club, that's another story. But
No,
what signs
lonely.
What signs show us we're becoming disconnected?
Mhm.
What are those signs?
Um I would say like dissociating when you're with people, like not feeling like you can have like a real heart to heart, like when you're, or like you're viewing like interactions like outside of yourself. You're like
Mm-hmm.
you're not really there or in it, or just like
Mm-hmm.
stop when you stop reaching out, you feel like you want to withdraw, um feeling like no one understands you, or when everything feels like so overwhelming or too much, even when it's like could be like a minor task.
Yeah, and then goes back to, when you start isolating, you don't
Mhm.
want to go nowhere, you don't want to do
Yes.
anything.
Yes.
And you are argumentative about
Mhm.
things. That's one of the signs that you're disconnecting. And you just don't want to do the things that we used to do. We used to do, this is what we used to do. This was our
Mhm.
thing. And now we don't do it anymore. So those are the kind of little things you can start feeling. And you start feeling like the interactions are becoming less.
Mhm.
Now all of a
Yes.
sudden, we ain't doing that anymore. Or I don't even see you in places where I used to see you.
Mhm.
So now you're disconnecting,
Mhm.
right? And so you got to be careful about that when you start seeing like a shift. And sometimes you need the shift.
Yeah.
Sometimes the shift is good for you.
Yeah. Some
But
people need to take the time. That's
but
true.
you yeah, but you want to make sure that when you are making those shifts, it's not putting you in a bad place, making you
Mhm.
feel uncomfortable, making you feel, not so good about yourself. Start questioning who you are, right?
Mhm.
Start questioning, your value, things like that. So just when you start feeling, those types of things, that's when you need to reach out to that person or those people that you trust and you know are for you, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, so family, meaningful relationships are medicine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's good for you. And it's
Yes.
good for you, and you need it regularly, right?
Yes.
They help us
Yes.
heal, they help us grow, they help us thrive. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's really important. I can't even say it enough um,
Mm-hmm.
about how important it is.
Yes. And it reminds us that we're not meant to do life alone.
Hmm.
Not at all.
Right, 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 right. And you know what? It requires something of us,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you know, I think there's a scripture that says obedience without sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
There, meaningful relationships require some sacrifice,
Yes.
right? And what does that mean? What does sacrifice mean? Sacrifice means it requires you to do something that that takes away from something else,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So you know you might not be able to do that because you're doing this. You might
Mm-hmm.
have to, you might have to, say no to somebody else to say yes to this meaningful relationship. You might
Yes.
have to put some extra effort in,
100%.
right?
Yes.
You might have to listen to my story 100 times.
Yes.
You might every time you talk to me, oh, she's still talking about
That's
that.
a big part.
She's still talking about it. Oh my goodness. But here's the thing. Your people that are your tribe, they get
Mm-hmm.
it. They get it
Yeah.
because guess what? Last year you were that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And because we have that relationship, you understand me now. You know where I'm coming from. And so yeah, I think it's just important to understand that, relationships are not always going to be um, smooth, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
always going to be what you want it to be at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
But you
Yes.
know, ultimately, that person has your best interest at
Mm-hmm.
heart, right?
Yes.
So
Definitely.
they are for you. They are for you. So the challenge that I have to everybody today is to reach out to someone, one person today, someone who matters, and strengthen that connection.
Mm-hmm.
If you have broken connections, if you have a connection that you want to be stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have new connections, reach out, make some new connections. You go to some new places, see
Mm-hmm.
some new things. Don't be afraid to allow people in your space, and don't be afraid to go into foreign spaces.
Mm-hmm.
That foreign space might be your place.
Yes.
You don't know what you know. You don't know what you need until you see it. You really don't.
Yes.
You think you
100%.
know, but until you have explored, the things, different things, you don't know. And that's why as
Mm-hmm.
children, we put our kids into everything. Baseball, basketball, dance. We do all of those things because we want them to find their spot. And as
Mm-hmm.
adults, we pull away from that. As adults, we
Yeah.
feel like we got to stay right here. No, we don't.
Mm-hmm.
We still have new things to explore as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And we may or may not, everybody may or may not go there with us, right? So that's what I have. And, because we're better together, right?
Yes. Yes. Indeed.
Right?
100%.
No matter what. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just wanted to just remind people, like I said, relationships matter.
Yes.
Meaningful relationships matter. I will say, and
Mm-hmm.
just take a inventory on the regular interactions that you have, and make sure that your needs are being met, and make sure that you are talking to these people, asking them what they need as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we go into relationships. This I need A B C D D D D D D. How about say what can I do to make your life easier, or what can I do that I haven't already been doing.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that I've been doing that you don't value? How about that?
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing right there. Because there's sometimes like a man will buy you gifts all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't like gifts, but
Yeah.
you haven't said anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing that you don't value. And here's the thing: you have to be careful with that particular one, because if that's his love language, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. If that's his love language, then you don't want to shut him down, but you
Mm-hmm.
also want to let him know that this is what I value.
Yes.
So if he's doing things that you don't necessarily value, you don't have to say I don't value it. You can say, but I really value this, and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to put a focus on the things that you want, because you just want to make sure that your needs are being met, because ultimately your needs being met is what creates the meaningful relationship, right?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right, so that's all we have for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, we are
Better together.
thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week, same place, same time, and we're out of here.
All right.
What's going on? Oops. I'm sorry about that.